Hello and welcome once again to Blackpool for the Embassy Whirlpool Championships of 2003. Well, we're at the quarter-final stage of this £34,000 event, the most prestigious on the 8-ball calendar. Well, this is how the quarter-final lineup is looking. Jason Twist, the reigning world champion, up against Gareth Potts in a couple of minutes' time. Then we've got the farmer, Phil Harrison, against the Scotsman, James Feely. In the bottom half of the draw, the former world champion, Chris Melling, up against the very experienced Keith Brewer. And Steve Munro up against Alec Evrianadis, all the way from Australia. And I'm delighted to say that Alec is with me in the studio. Alec, great to see you. First of all, congratulations. It's, how many years have you been trying to reach the last 8?
Only 9.
Only 9 years. That's not too bad. You finally got your dream.
Yes, finally got there.
Now, people, obviously, they see the success this week, but it must have cost you an awful amount of money to actually reach the last 8. How much money does it cost in total?
Oh, it's about £30,000 to £40,000. Or dollars, sorry, yeah.
You know, some people may say you're a dreamer. Is that fair to say or not?
A dreamer? Well, you've got a dream, don't you? You know what it's all about.
Can you win it?
Possibly.
Possibly?
Yes.
Now, going ahead to this match, Jason Twist and Gareth Potts. Who do you think's favourite?
Well, Jason Twist is favourite after winning the world titles in past occasions, but Gareth is a new player on the scene and certainly able to beat Jason.
I saw Potts earlier today. He's very confident. He feels that he's certainly got the game to do it, but you need inner belief, don't you?
Well, if you don't think you can win, you're not going to win. That's basically all it's about.
And you've got loads of that, haven't you?
That's right.
OK, well, let's concentrate on our first quarter-final. It promises to be a fascinating encounter between Twist and Potts. Jason Twist, the reigning world champion. The big question is, can he become the first man in history to successfully defend his title? No other player has ever done that. He was very comfortable in his last 32 match over David Anderson from South Africa, 8-3, but in the last 16, something of a struggle against Keith Jones, coming through 8 frames to 7. It's also worth mentioning he is playing with a twisted vertebrae. Well, he's up against a young man from Stoke-on-Trent, a former junior world champion, Gareth Potts. He's been very impressive. In the last 32, a great win over the 7th seed, Darren Appleton, by 8 frames to 3. In the last 16, very comfortable against Jay Cullum from Ireland, 8-2. So this for a place in the semi-finals. It's over 17 frames. I'll hand you over to our MC, Mr. Alan Hughes.
Thank you, Mark, and let's welcome the players in this first quarter-final match. And first, the reigning Eagle Bidder title holder and former world junior champion and a recent tour finalist against the defending world champion. And he's in the form of his life, ladies and gentlemen. Can I ask you to welcome Gareth Potts and the reigning Embassy world champion, Jason Twist.
Pool champion up against Gareth Potts. 2 world titles out there right now. Former world junior champion in Gareth Potts, but certainly that man, the wanted man here in Blackpool this summer. Tony Holgate alongside me. Tony, I think if the man breaking off Gareth Potts can keep the attitude that this is a win-win situation, all the pressure on Jason Twist, he's going to be very dangerous.
Well, he started off with a good break off Gareth Potts. I'll tell you what, I've never seen this young man play quite as well as what he has done during his championships. The way he destroyed Darren Appleton, who's one of the big favourites of this tournament, which is incredible. He never missed a ball in that match.
Yes, another look at the break-off here. Successfully completed, red top right corner. So it's an open table right now for Gareth. And he'll select the colour that he feels will be easiest to take off the table.
Red ball's in play.
Always important. It goes without saying to quickly open accounts and try and stamp your authority on a match.
In the last year, Gareth Potts, he's made a couple of quarterfinals of other professional events on the TV, and he's not
Yellow
quite
balls in play.
Just had his game right, and this is his first time in the quarterfinals of the Embassy World Championships, and I really feel that he's going to have to really build his game to cope with Jason Twist. As we all know, Jason, he's already won the European title this year. He's a mean competitor.
Well, as you said, he's already taken out one former world champion in Darren Appleton, 8-3 in fact. A very one-sided victory would have gone a long ways to building his confidence, and he tried to dislodge that one awkward one. He's on yellows. So here, again, a look. He'd like to have gotten that yellow in the open. It looks, Tony, as though he's manufactured a position here of some merit.
See Jason attempting a tough double, and he's got it, and what a great shot. That'll take away a few early nerves getting a ball like that in.
Well, at the top of the program, Mark just alluded to the fact that Jason is having a little bit of a problem with his back, his lower back. I was talking to him beforehand, and you may even see him bending both legs a little bit to try and alleviate a little of that pressure on that lower back. But there you can almost sense that there's a little discomfort in the reigning world champion.
You tell me about his back, Jim. I went and did an exhibition with him about 4 months ago, and he's had this back problem for quite a while. He played a shot in the exhibition match, and the crowd thought he was putting it on. He actually was stuck over the side of the table, and he had to get him flat on a big piece of board and carry him out of the pub. Unbelievable situation, but yeah, he has had some problems over the years with his back.
Well, even though Jason has missed that yellow, you can see he's not left Gareth anything with which to get started. But a very nervy start, I think it's fair to say. No one has ever successfully defended this title. And that's down to Jason Twist this year to make history. Great shot there on the red, in with a real chance now. He really looks focused. He's a prodigy of Lee Kendall, in fact, another left-hander that we're so used to seeing here in the business end of this Embassy World Championship.
Yeah, as he grew up in Stoke-on-Trent, a lot of people know the England team captain Lee Kendall. He also hails from the Potteries. As a young lad, he sort of brought Gareth Potts on over the years. But now there's Lee Kendall. You see him yourself. He's the England captain and a fantastic player himself. Also been in the final of this championship back in '97.
Well, he's easily one of the most consistent performers in the Embassy World Championship, and this year his place has been taken by that man at the table, another left-hander.
Well, I'd say over the last 2 years, Gareth Potts has just come on leaps and bounds. You know, he sort of broke away from Lee Kendall, and he's just gone forward, and I feel he could dominate the game for 10, 12 years, this young man. Superb concentration and never looks under pressure.
Well, it doesn't hurt having that World Junior title under your belt either. He's just overrun ideal position on this red. So the path to victory going to be a little tougher than Gareth would have liked. But you know what is also interesting, Tony, is around Easter time, just a little over a month ago, these two actually met in the most recent Embassy event. And Jason Twist took Gareth out 8-6 on that occasion, so possibly one up coming into this one. Well, that was a good red from Gareth. He started this quarterfinal out missing a red into the center, and he's done nothing wrong since then.
Well, I don't think he meant to cannon into that ball, and just look where he's finished. He doesn't really have any shot in the 8-ball.
He may be forced to go across cushion and pocket that 8 into the side pocket that it's nearest, and that's only if that path is there. Yeah, it doesn't look like it, Tony. That yellow could be in the way.
Well, he'd have to come the other side of the other middle pocket jaw with a lot of left-hand side. I can't see him attempting this. I think he's going to go for the full length of the table double. Try and get the 8-ball in the bottom left-hand corner. It's a tough shot.
30 seconds.
But I feel really that it's his only shot.
Yeah, so look at the angles. Possibly where he wants to hit with that black.
That's what he attempted, and you can see he missed it by quite a way, but a real tough shot. He'll be disappointed he didn't get on the black anyway.
He will be, Tony, but he hasn't done bad. He's almost got second prize. You can see that black nowhere near the corner pocket, but the black has come back out into the middle of the table and covered the easy yellow for Jason. The one that would have been begging over that left center is not there.
Well, this has been the reason why Jason Twist's been a two-time world champion, because in these situations he can dig the frame out, but he's played a loose one there and he's left Gareth Potts a long 8-ball.
Well, Gareth takes that Christmas present but a mistake from the reigning world champion lets Gareth Potts seize the first one here in Blackpool. 1-0, Gareth Potts over Jason Twist. Well, Tony, a little turn of events there, and certainly Jason Twist with a lot to think about. You can't leave Gareth Potts with too many chances like that to seize frames.
Because he was left with that safety shot, I just feel maybe because it's the first frame of the match, he wasn't really used to the pace of the table, and he's just overhit that attempted snooker, and he's left Potts the long black into the corner. But
second frame.
Sure, Jason will get that out of his mind.
Trailing 1-0.
Well, that's the order of the day as Twisty gets set to break off here. Frame 2 of a possible 17. A race to 9 and nothing down.
I'll tell you what, you just look at the reds, Jim. Here you see Jason Twist break off. Plenty of power in it. Good split, but nothing in. And the key to this game is you must pot off your own break. And just look at those red balls. What a great chance this is for Potts, Jim.
Yes, in fact, no yellow even on for Gareth, so he'll be seizing the reds here.
30 seconds.
What a glorious opportunity here again for Gareth Potts.
Red ball's in play.
Well, the only one awkward red that Gareth Potts has is a red at the bottom left-hand side of the table. We can see it near the cushion. There's 2 yellows blocking the bottom corner. I think Gareth Potts actually had to look to see if the red ball will go off the side cushion, back into those yellows, and then drop in the corner. What do you think, Jim?
Well, certainly it looks close. Our camera angle, difficult to say, but Tony, that shot is on, but there'll be no margin for error.
Well, the only other way I think he can negotiate that red ball is to maybe play a double into the bottom right-hand corner. But you see, again, he's made his mind up. He wants to come off this side rail as we're looking at it, into those 2 yellows. And there you see, that's where he wants to make contact with the red ball and into that bottom corner. Also, with that shot, if he did it the right weight and didn't pot the ball, the red would maybe cover the pocket, and he'd still have control of the frame.
And I think he's wise to take it now while he still has the options of the other reds on the table. But again, this has to be precise, Tony, and obviously this either has to go in or guard that corner pocket. The shot of this frame coming up for Gareth Potts.
And there you see he's managed to get a second prize. He's covered the pocket. He still has control of the frame. And we'll have another look at it. Just tickled off the yellow, and you see the red just hanging over the back. Got a good weight on that shot.
In control, though, of frame number 2. Really keeping the pressure on Jason Twist. And you know the old saying, pressure builds character, but it also reveals
30
character.
seconds.
And that's exactly what Jason Twist is going to have to show us in this match.
Well, you've got to say Gareth Potts has made a very positive start. Not overawed by the fact that he's playing the defending world champion. As he sits looking quite comfortable in his chair out there, chewing a bit of gum. But Jason Twist is a fierce competitor. Won't give up the ghost.
Well, there's only 2 players in the world that have won this event on 2 separate occasions. Rob McKenna from Wales and the man at the table now. But no one has ever successfully defended it. And Jason seeing himself in the last 8. That's got to be first and foremost in his mind. The biggest prize of the year awaits the winner.
Well, he's going to try and play the yellow closest to the bottom cushion into the bottom right corner. He's going to try and kick the other one out in the same shot. This will be some shot if Jason Twist should get this. He needs to do 2 things with this one shot. And There you see, he managed to kick the yellow out, but failing to pot the one he went for. And just look what he's left, Gareth Potts. If he pots this long red into bottom right-hand corner, he's got the frame at his mercy. And Jason Twist, he's in a bit of trouble.
Well, he's not taking that red over the pocket. So if he gets this long one in the open, and I can tell you that camera angle makes this look a lot easier than it really is.
And that was not a great shot.
All the pressure of winning the frame on that one, Tony.
Well, I feel he could have hit this a lot harder, a bit more conviction, and to roll the ball length to the table like that, I think it makes a pot twice as difficult.
I can only think the reason that Gareth refused the red over the corner is position wasn't guaranteed. But I can tell you one thing, I'd have been taking that red over the pocket. Left my chances with position to one of the other two reds. As it is, Jason Twist knows this is an opportunity that he may not have thought was going to come his way. And he's overrun this by some margin.
That's what I said the frame before, Jim, when he went to play that snooker and he overran the cue ball. He's not used to the pace of the table.
Well, now he's going to have to pull a rabbit out of the hat. That was a horrible positional shot.
You just see him shaking his head there. He knows there's just no excuse for being that far past the yellow. Well, everything's working out well for Gareth at the moment. Every time Gareth does make a slight mistake, it's not being punished by Jason.
And that has to be said, too, as we look at the poor positional shot from Jason Twist here. Just overhit this by about 2 feet. But with every mistake that creeps into Jason Twist's game, you just know that Gareth Potts is going to grow in confidence. And I'm not sure he's covered the pocket.
He hasn't, Jim. He's left the gap. That red sails in that bottom right corner. Look at Jason Twist's face. Not only has he played a bad position, the red goes past the black, the other red near the cushion, this goes in. Not only did Jason Twist play a poor positional shot, he played a poor safety straight after it. And that's perfect there now for Gareth Potts. He's going to take the red ball now nearest the 8. He's going to take this one first. And as you can see, the camera angle there tells us it glides in. And Gareth Potts, but he's left the cue ball a little bit awkward. He would have liked to have been away from that yellow, but should negotiate this.
The position not as easy as he would have liked. I think he'd be happy with that, Tony. This black for a 2-0 lead. It's in the bank now. Gareth Potts has the reigning world champion in the pressure cooker. 2-0 in the race to 9. Well, what a turn-up this is. And you just wonder what the crowd is thinking here. There's another former world champion on the left of your picture there, Carl Morris. He'd dearly love to be out there, but not to be this year. But, Tony, what an ideal start for Gareth.
Well, I just couldn't dream of being 2-0 up in AC. That's the Northern Ireland pool team there. Very enjoying it, but Gareth Potts has just been fantastic.
Gareth Potts, is he set to break off here now? Frame 3. And nothing down. So a chance here for Twisty now. He's got to get back into this one and keep Potts in his sights. This frame takes on added significance given the score line. Not difficult to tell which of these two is more comfortable at the moment.
$30.
What a messy table as Twist looks at it. He's got the 2 reds top right that
Red ball's in
certainly the one will have to be developed, and I'm not sure whether that one will pass into the left center nearest the black.
Yeah, I think that flies in, Jim. It's that one at the top right-hand side of the table, tucked behind the yellow. That's his main problem. And this is the first time Jason, I think, has actually got in first to the balls. Potts has always had the first opportunity, he missed it, then Jason's come in and failed.
I think Jason will already know that he wants to try and leave that cue ball nearest the top of the table as we look, giving himself an angle on that one red that does pass top right, and hopefully he can dislodge the difficult one. He just looks a little out of sorts right now, and I'm not sure they can be easy enough for him.
Now you see Darren Appleton looking on. He was defeated by Gareth Potts in the last 32-8, or sorry, 7 frames to 3. And Jason Twitter. I never like it when players leave their awkward balls they need to knock out till very late in the frame. They need to do it early doors.
And the simple reason being is you've got more options with the other reds or yellows remaining. But now, the path to victory for Jason, a little more difficult, and he has to ensure, in pocketing this red nearest the black, he must leave himself with an angle on the penultimate red. Key shot coming up.
And that's unbelievable. Jason Twist putting the red into the centre and follow the white in behind it.
Time running.
And that is a schoolboy error from Jason Twist. Simple as that.
He tried to use that black, Tony, to get that cue ball top side of the table for that angle. But I can assure you the smile as he departed the table was outward only, grimacing inside. And what a chance now. 2 visits for Gareth Potts, and you really can't fail to see him winning from this position.
And what a lovely shot he's just played there. Taking one of his awkward yellows, put it into the middle and also dislodging that red ball to leaving a clear path for this yellow into the top right-hand corner. Showing a lot of confidence now, Gareth Potts. Slightly wipes his feet there, that ball, but he still has his 2 visits intact.
Just a dream start for the former junior champion of the world. Looking to add another world title to his resume.
Well, it'd just be interesting to see how he will cope with a Jason Twist comeback, because when the Tornado does get on the roll, he's relentless, and I do believe we will see Jason Twist clicking through the gears very shortly, because he's going to have to. But at the moment, it's Gareth Potts looking very, very confident. This going in the centre pocket, white down the bottom of the table. And he's tried to nudge that, you know. He should have played that, just left it short, because he's still got 2 visits, Jim. He could just took it in the top left-hand corner.
He's just going to flick this off the cushion and play it into the center, Tony. He won't pose any problems. What a beautiful thing it is when you've got the second visit in hand.
Second visit.
And 3-0 the scoreline. Jason Twist in trouble here. The quarterfinal stages of the Embassy Whirlpool Championship sees young Gareth Potts with the reigning champion under pressure. Well, Tony, I know the odds would have been long on Gareth Potts coming through this one, but Jason Twist is digging himself a hole, and only time will tell whether or not he's going to be able to find the footholds to get himself out.
Well, he's making at least 1 mistake per frame at the moment, which is very unusual for Jason Twist.
But they're glaring mistakes as well. They're unforced errors, and errors the like of which you just don't see in Jason Twist's game.
4th frame, Jason Twist to break, trailing 3 frames to 0.
Frame 4, the Tornado has to start blowing here. And not a lot going right for him.
I'll tell you what,
Open
Jason Twist
table.
nearly went out in the last round. He only won 8-7 against Keith Jones, and Jones had a great chance to beat him and failed. As we look at Jason Twist break once again.
And this looks enticing for Gareth Potts. He knows he's got the world champion on the ropes. And it's down to him to try and deliver that knockout punch. He wants to keep him under heat. They came to the table dressed similarly, but their play has been everything but. That's not the best shot that Gareth has played in this quarterfinal. He's got a difficult yellow, the bottom of the table as we look.
Gareth Potts. I don't think you're going to see him go
30 seconds.
to game here. He's quite happy with the yellow covering the bottom right-hand corner. Well, that's incredible.
I saw that in a trick shot exhibition.
2 visits.
Left the yellow over the pocket and knocked it in with the white. Unfortunately for Gareth, that didn't happen here. You'll see the yellow just beating the cue ball into that side pocket. 2 visits to Jason Twist. And this could have been just what the doctor ordered. In off the yellow to clear the pocket for the other red.
What a great shot there from Jason Twist. Great control. A lot of players would have just belted that in there. Not Jason Twist. He knows how the balls will react when you kick into them, and absolutely perfect. He's just got his skates on a bit now, Jason Twist. He's going to need to go through the gears now as he's trailing 3 frames in. He wants to get that first one on the board and just get a bit of confidence back, and just feel that this frame now should be dead, really.
Well, that one had a look of anxiousness, certainly, from Jason. And he's not making life easy. All he has to do is bump this red to play it bottom left, but he's got to leave himself an angle to get back out onto the black now.
I just wonder if the back's playing up a little bit, because he seems to be not spending much time down on his
Second
cue.
visit.
It's almost as if he's queuing down to hit the ball and then he's jumping straight up again.
No, that's a very valid point, Tony, and he's playing a lot quicker than he was earlier in this match. This black to notch his first frame. You can see not quite a full pocket here. But enough for the tornado. The reigning world champion off the mark. 3-1, he trails Gareth Potts.
The reigning world champion finally getting a frame on the board, and Alec, that was a big frame for Jason Twist.
Well, I don't think this is how everyone expected it to happen. Jason really is struggling out there, and even with 2 shots on that red on the bottom rail, it's easy shot, and just overscrewed it and ended up having to use an extra shot. Lucky he had it.
In all fairness to Gareth Potts, so he looks very relaxed out there at the moment. He looks confident.
He's very confident, actually, the way he's just parading around the table there.
Has he got enough belief to go ahead and finish the job?
Well, he's just beaten Jason 3 in a row. It's pretty hard to do that.
Okay, then here comes frame 5.
Just getting set to break off now. Gareth Potts in frame 5. Doesn't want that cue ball in. And it hovers menacingly close to that corner pocket.
Have another look at Gareth's break there. You see the cue. We were both convinced this white was in. But there's a little bits of fortune you need if you're going to win big tournaments, and Gareth Potts just having a little bit of luck there with the cue ball. You see Jason Twist didn't fancy having to go at any pots there at all. He's quite content to leave Gareth to sort it out at the top of the table.
Is there enough room to get this into the center pocket? Very close. I don't think there's going to be any one visit wins here, Tony. Not in this frame. Reds and yellows very awkwardly placed.
Open table.
Seems both players are jockeying for position, trying to get reds. Reds in the colour. I know that the 8 ball is tucked away with a vast group of yellows on the left-hand side of the table, but it is available in the top right-hand corner. But he's decided against it. I'm surprised about that. I thought Jason Twist might have been a bit more aggressive in that situation.
Well, we've seen a couple signs already that Jason's fighting himself slightly. And yet another one. Normally very aggressively natured at the pool table. Little cat and mouse here. In this sort of game, you have to feel would favor the man with experience.
Well, somebody's going to have to go for something in a minute, because now the balls are now at least halfway down the table. You're not going to get safe up to the top rail. I wonder if Jason Twist now maybe looking at the plant into the bottom right-hand corner with these 2 reds.
That looks set. Can he see enough of that red? He's had a good look at it.
30
and
seconds.
It looks on.
And what a great shot. Just look how he's developed the 8 ball as well. All of a sudden the frame's open. We'll have another look at this plant. This is a fantastic shot from Jason Twist, and just kicking the 8 ball out as well is just a double bonus, isn't it?
And the red's on now. Well, Tony, there's a saying that we grow up with in Canada. When a man with experience plays a man with money, a man with the money gets the experience, and the man with the experience gets the money.
30 seconds.
Controlling that cue ball of paramount importance right now. There's not a lot of room for error. Having dropped the first 3 frames in this quarterfinal,
30 seconds.
Jason knows he doesn't want to let his opponent get any more confidence than he already must have.
Well, he's not left anything easy there. He didn't want to kiss into that red. He just wanted to come behind it, and okay, it still goes in the pocket, but for his next shot, it's going to be some big effort now. I wonder if the red ball goes in the left-hand centre. I don't think it does, Jim. He's going to have to play the red at to the bottom right-hand corner, and this is quite a thin cut, and the cue ball is also going to be sailing.
It looks like it might be sailing right into another red, and the danger of knocking it into a safe position.
30 seconds.
Well, he changed his mind on that shot, and I think it's very wise to do so, and he's got pretty good position there.
Great shot from Jason Twist there. Again, now every real chance. Choice of reds here. Top right or left center. He's having a good look at it. Must not have a full pocket, so it's going to be top right.
Another great pot from Twist.
It looks like he's got a perfect angle on this to drop onto the last red to the same pocket. Just draw that cue ball out into the center of the table. And important to leave himself an angle here. He wants to be just the right-hand side of straight, and that is perfect.
Well, he's Gareth Potts will know now he's going to be in a match. This is Twist at his very, very best, because this has not been an easy finish.
This has been a spectacular finish. One ball away from converting it. And what an out from Jason Twist there. Came to the table and nothing was inviting. Secured victory and pulled one more back. 3-2, Gareth Potts over Jason Twist. What an out there from the reigning world champion. Tony, that's got to go a long ways to boosting Twisty's confidence.
Well, that finish was purely world class. And Jason Twist, we'll see him doubling this black ball into the centre pocket. What a fantastic finish to a fantastic frame of pull from Jason Twist. I mean, it wasn't an easy ball. I mean, you look at the table, there's nothing there. He gets the plant, he kicks the 8 ball out, and then he pulls off about 3 or 4 big pots and finishes off with that black ball. Fantastic stuff from the reigning world champion.
Trailing 3 frames
So
to 2.
Jason at the table now. Frame 6 of a possible 17.
And that could spell danger for Gareth Potts. Jason Twist now starting to pot off his break. It's been coming up dry a couple of times. You see Jason's break there. You see the yellow. Sorry, the red ball going into the centre pocket. Not particularly easy finish, though. There's the colour balls stuck to each other in the middle of the table there, Jim.
Well, but he's already shown us
Yellow ball's nominated.
what he can do when it's required. And Jason
30
certainly
seconds.
came to Blackpool this year, Tony, in as good a form as anybody on the planet. He's been dominant on the Embassy Tour.
Well, losing those first 3 frames to Gareth Potts is like a little bit of a slap round the face and a bit of a wake-up call for Jason. And now you can see the eyes of the predator are back. As he looks at those, the yellow and the red stuck together slightly in the centre of the table, slightly less left of centre. Now you see them. He's going to have to dislodge that yellow if he's going to finish this frame.
Well, Tony, it almost looked like he may have had a go at it right there. I don't know whether that yellow passes into the right center. He's got a yellow bottom right. And that camera angle,
Looks like a touching ball there, Jim.
yeah, it doesn't look like it passes into that side pocket.
Yeah, that looks like it heads straight for the knuckle of the middle pocket.
30 seconds.
I'm sure if it did go that Jason would have already been potted a couple of more yellows by now. Trying to work out a way round this finish.
Without a doubt, though, that is the problem ball that you alluded to. Sooner
Great
or
shot
later,
from Jason.
he's got to get after it, Tony. And I know he'd rather sooner than later.
Well, we did see early in a couple of early frames that he left his problem balls till last and paid the penalty, didn't he? But you learn by your mistakes.
He's so imaginative, though. He comes up with shots that few players see.
Seconds.
Very active on the exhibition scene.
Well, he definitely had a go at moving it that time.
And this is going to be in or over the bottom pocket.
And there you see the time clock. The players have 1 minute to play a shot. And that was terrible execution shot. We both thought he could just roll it down the cushion. He's just thrown his arm at it. It's unbelievable there from Jason Twist.
Barely threatened the corner pocket. Another look at it. He almost struck that ball full in the face. There's been a couple very loose efforts from Jason Twist, uncharacteristic efforts.
That was like one of my practice shots when I can hear the phone ringing at home.
And look at this. Again. It seems like losing that cue ball is the order of the day for both players.
Well, Gareth Potts there, he tried to pot that red ball and and knock the red and the yellow apart, because he needed them dislodged as well as Jason. But he's missed the part. He's dislodged the balls, but as you can see, those two yellows are now awkwardly placed on the left-hand cushion for Jason Twist. The yellow goes at the bottom left-hand corner, but the problem lies elsewhere.
Effectively, this frame
30 seconds.
is worth 2. It's either going to be a 3-3 score line.
Foul.
Had to be red first.
Visits.
Well, Jason Twist just tried to get his yellow ball over this corner, but you can see he's left a gap, and he doesn't look very pleased about it. And so he shouldn't be. Watch this cue ball creeping across the table again. Melvin Harley, the ref there, is the man on the spot. And there you see Melvin Harley, one of our top referees, and a lovely bloke.
30 seconds.
Well, Gareth Potts, you try to play that double, Jim, and try and kiss in the other red, and he's failed with both shots.
Yes, it wouldn't have been so bad if that other red would have stayed in the open, Tony. Would have given him a chance at the victory line. But now, second visit in hand, and you really can't even see him attacking from here.
Now he's going to surely try and cover the bag here. Mind you, he's digging the cue ball down. And what do we know? He just played it off the jaw and off the yellow and in the pocket. I really didn't think that went.
And if he's got an angle on this red top left to take that cue ball into those two nearest the cushion, what an opportunity. It was never going to be easy. He would have needed a little lady luck to smile on him, even in dislodging those two reds. But he did give himself a chance.
You see Gareth Potts just playing the snooker, also developing his two reds a bit more. I'll tell you what, he's only just got it.
Well, that certainly looks like a total snooker.
If you want to have to swing the cue ball much round the yellow to hit it. There you see the referee using a second cue ball. This is going to give him a clearer line to see whether Jason Twist could actually get to the end of that yellow. He moves it across again.
Well, that's what they're awaiting, to see if it is a total snooker or not.
By the way, while the referee does that, he does have a timeout and they stop the clock. But the referee's not called a total snooker, saying he can hit it, and Jason's not even going to attempt it. He feels he can't hit it, so he's going to have to hit this a bit of pace, because he must hit a cushion after contact. This white has to hit the rail if it's a foul.
Tony, don't go on me.
Can I have some oxygen, please, Jim? I didn't think I was actually going to get to the rail.
You didn't have a little bet on this one, did you?
What makes you think that, Jim?
Desperate times for commentator and player. But a chance nevertheless.
I think he's overhit this one as well, Jim.
You can rest easy again, Tone.
Don't worry, I'm all right now, Jim. I'm back. But Gareth Potts is in a little bit of trouble.
Well, if there's one chink in his armor, it's come in the form of cue ball control. A couple occasions he's had chances, and if not for losing that cue ball, he might well have been able to convert
30
them.
seconds.
I'll tell you what, he's having a go at both of these here. Red into the side cushion, into the other red. And he's not far away, was he?
Long yellow for Jason Twist, as we again see the chance taken here by Gareth Potts. A very adventurous effort, that one. Only time will tell whether or not it will be duly punished.
Sensible shot here for Jason will be to play this very, very slowly. Well, he's changed his mind. He's gone for the pot in the bottom corner. That's madness, that shot. I'm sorry, Jim. I felt he should have played the yellow ball on the left-hand rail. If he just rolled it over the pocket, it was only giving Gareth Potts either one red to hit or neither of them. Oh, I just think he's chosen the wrong shot. He's just not at the races at the moment for me.
He may just be rolling into the... No, full-fledged double again. He doesn't want to let Gareth Potts back to the table at all. This down the cushion. Almost guaranteed position on the black if he gets it.
Well, if Jason Twist gets these final balls now for his frame, I'm going to owe him an apology. Because that is a serious big finish. Fantastic from Twist.
And finish he did. Jason Twist lost the first 3 frames, comes back to snatch the next 3. 3 apiece here in Blackpool.
That's why he's the reigning world champion. A great fight back. The fight back complete. 3-3. Completely different player.
Well, there were 2 great shots there at the end of that frame, to double that ball and to cut that straight down the rail. That just, Jason's just turned it right around there.
Even Tony Holgate apologised.
Well, there you go. You can't hear that often.
You look at the 2 players now. We'll show you the double that he played to help him win that frame. This is a big shot.
That's a great shot, really. It saved in the game.
Tony, you said there was going to be a fight back. And what a fight back Jason Twist has provided us with.
Well, it's game on here now in Blackpool. The young pretender Gareth Potts, as we watch him break off in frame 7. Versus the reigning world champion, the Tornado himself, Jason Twist, and it's Potts at the table. Just 1 yellow that's lying awkwardly at the bottom of the table. He's stuck right next to that red ball. We're getting treated to some spectacular pull now. Well, I think Gareth Potts going to attack.
Play the plant and dislodge that difficult yellow, and he didn't get it.
Played it a little bit soft there, Jim, didn't he? Thought he should have maybe...
I wasn't too sure it was even on. It looked like the cue ball was always just going to be snicking, at best, the edge of that red. Mind you, if he'd have played it at pace, as you said, Tony, he might well have got it in the open.
Still, control is still with Potts. While Jason Twist red is at the bottom of the table. He's not finishing anything. There you see he's not made any attempt to go for the frame there. And that's a pretty good shot there from Gareth. Not really leaving anything easy for Jason Twist.
So important when you depart the table to try and maintain the initiative. Always leave it on a positive note. How strong a player would you be if you never finished on a miss? Jason obviously willing to give Gareth that yellow into the center. I'm not so sure that's a good idea, Tony. It looks like he could make this, follow through, leave himself an angle on the yellow over the bottom left with the chance of possibly dislodging it. If he made this yellow and could get the cue ball into the area here, then he could pocket this yellow and leave an angle to try and get over and dislodge this one.
But again, it's landing on your next shot as well, Jim.
30 seconds.
Where's the cue ball? And that's a very, very good shot there from Gareth Potts. And has he come too far once again?
I mean, anytime that cue ball is flying around the table, though, like that, Tony, you really do leave it to chance, don't you? Hindsight is always 20/20. It just appeared from where I was looking on, Tony, that the percentages would have favored him slightly had he taken a different path to victory. Now again, discretion.
30 seconds.
I think all Jason might have here, if he can't see the red bottom right, is the double.
Now you see he can't get through to the reds at the bottom of the table. I don't think you'll see him attempting any swerve shots or shots of that nature. It's like you say, Jim, his only option is to go for the red on the right-hand cushion as we look.
30 seconds.
This has to be in. And just what you need when you're the world champion is to have that extra gear.
He hasn't missed a double yet. Comes to the table with a must-have shot.
When really put under pressure, Jason Twist has answered every question that's been fired at him from Gareth Potts in that department. And you have to say, Gareth must be now wondering what he really has to do to beat this man. Still looking calm, but might be regretting his last shot.
Well, there's no question that Mr. Momentum is in the corner of the reigning world champion right now.
Well, the only real tricky ball for Jason Twist is the 8 ball. 3 reds is pretty easy. He's deciding which ways is best suited for him. Each player has their own different ideas and shots that they're more comfortable with.
And this is nothing more than the angle. If he wants to get the cue ball, well, he doesn't have much angle here. Is he going to try and get top of the table?
Well, he didn't fancy it in the corner. He wanted the centre pocket, and he had to go that way to achieve it. And he has brilliantly.
He has not put a foot wrong ever since he dropped the first 3 frames. He has taken the last 4, and now, for the first time in this quarterfinal, he is in front, 4-3. And Gareth Potts must be completely amok right now. He thought he was containing the tornado. Well, guess what? There is no containing the tornado.
But the thing is, Jim, they've not been easy finishes he's knocked in. Twist has had to pull out big shot after big shot, and he's doing it now, frame after frame. Brilliant performance from Twist now.
But this has to go a long way to helping Jason establish himself in this match. I think he felt that young Gareth Potts presented a formidable challenge. And to spot him the first 3 frames in this quarterfinal, quite possibly he might have been one of the only players in the world that could have done that. And nothing down for Jason Twist.
Open table.
Frame 8. And just 1 in it between these two. Another look at it, Tony. And nothing at the table friendly for Jason Twist at that break off.
No, not lacking a bit of power, that break there from Jason. I just wonder again if that's something to do with the back. Nice little controlled shot there from Gareth Potts. You hear the crowd appreciate it. Just kicking that yellow out. It was slightly tied up there on the cushion, but yellows are starting to look more inviting as Gareth Potts comes to the table with every shot he plays.
The tender age of 19 years and on center stage here. It's summertime in Blackpool, and this is the only game in town. The biggest title on offer. And where's the cue ball? He's bumped that 8 a little closer to that pocket, and obviously that 1 yellow nearest the bottom right corner presents a little bit of a problem, Tony.
Well, I think you play there's a yellow ball in the middle of the bottom cushion. I think you could maybe play the yellow ball into the bottom cushion just before red and yellow over the pocket. And then kiss into the red and yellow over the bottom right-hand corner and pot the yellow. Red goes out the way of the black, and that would open up the frame. Not an easy shot to play, but I think that's what Gareth may be looking at. That's if he's going to attempt to go for the frame. He might try and maybe just cover a pocket and decide to stick with what he's got.
Well, Tony, if he's going to play it, I think he might well have had it in mind there. As it is, he's got that bottom left pocket guarded by that yellow now. And as difficult an out as Jason has shown us in the preceding frames, I really can't see him trying to get out here.
Well, it's one of those frames where Jason's just going to have to hang in there and hope Gareth doesn't clear up, and you can see young Mr. Potts is looking at cannoning the cue ball into the red and yellow. I don't really feel there's any need to go in there at the moment. He's got control of the frame. There you see, he's had a little pop at it. Not Wepf just sitting on his laurels, is he, Jim?
No, he's not, but having said that, a faint heart never won a fair lady, and Gareth Potts has manufactured the position now to one certainly of some promise. Very enticing, the position of the yellows at this moment in time.
Seconds.
A lot to think about in the twist camp.
There you see Jason twist, another double. What's he got next? Not a lot. Pull some more rabbits out of hats before he finishes this frame.
And then some, Tone. I know everyone watching right now is probably wondering the very same thing as we are. And no, it's not, why is that camera on me? How does Jason Twist try and win from here?
Well, I think the only thing you can do is to try and cover up the yellow over the bottom right-hand corner. And maybe block the black off from there. I don't feel that's a great shot.
I think he tried to cover that yellow from the center. Once again, opportunity knocks for Gareth Potts.
What if you might just cut the yellow at the bottom of the table towards the bottom left-hand corner? So he's feeling cavalier.
Seconds.
That's a nice shot there from Gareth Potts. Great control with the cue ball. He's got an angle now on this yellow. Can snip it in the middle. He can go off the red or just pot it cleanly, but he's guaranteed to have the cue ball at the bottom of the table.
This looks nice. Just try and knock this yellow in, stop the cue ball dead, and he'll leave himself the yellow opposite corner pocket, and the black will be last to depart the table.
And there's Angie Layton. That's Gareth Potts' girlfriend. And she'll be going through all the emotions with him, I'm sure, as he contemplates trying to beat this man they call Jason Twist.
I'm not too sure she's going to be very happy with that effort. Neither is Gareth Potts. I don't think he can see this yellow. It just looked like that cue ball traveled a little too far. And in fact, he cannot pocket it. Well, not in the conventional manner anyway.
30 seconds.
The way he was queuing up, he was going to try and swerve that white around the red.
Well, there's always a danger of double kissing into the cue ball. I don't really think that double was going anyway. But he's handed this one back to Jason Twist.
And yet again, it's been cue ball control that has been Gareth Potts' Achilles heel in this quarterfinal.
Well, I think ever since Jason Twist has moved up a couple of gears, Gareth's now starting to doubt himself. He knows that Jason Twist has all the experience that's required to be a world champion, but when he starts to play well, he starts to strike fear into his opponents, and I think maybe Gareth's just a little bit scared of him now.
Well, the first sign of negative thoughts creeping into Gareth Potts' mind. You just saw it there, slight indication. And that's one thing about Jason, though, that is so evident in his play. He's a very selfish player, isn't he? He doesn't want to give the table up. And he really couldn't care less who occupies the seat in the other corner. He plays no favorites.
Doesn't want to give his title up either, Jim.
Not without a fight.
This is good stuff again from Jason. Going through these balls very quickly, the Jason Twist.
It's all one-way traffic right now, and it's heading the way of the reigning world champion. He's taken the last 5 frames and leads Gareth Potts 5-3.
So the reigning world champion eases into a 5-3 lead as the players head off for their mid-session interval. And Alec, very impressive stuff from Jason Twist.
Yeah, definitely. Jason's going very well now.
It looks like he expects to win, and Gareth is hoping to win.
Well, Gareth can take a lot out of that session because he did win the first 3 frames in a row. All right, Jason hadn't settled, but Gareth, he hasn't done a lot wrong. Jason's just picked up a gear, and it's not over yet either way.
Absolutely, still a long way to go. Can the world champion book his place in the semi-finals? Join us after the break. Welcome back to Blackpool for this fascinating quarter-final match in the Embassy World Pool Championships, where the reigning world champion Jason Twist leads Gareth Potts by 5 frames to 3. Can he make it through to the semi-finals? Let's get straight back to the action.
5-3 the score in favor of the reigning world champion. He has won the last 5, in fact, where Gareth Potts started this quarterfinal out securing the first 3 to put the world champion under pressure, but didn't he respond? Frame 9, and Potts breaks off, trying to right the ship that has gone so wrong for him.
Red and yellow balls potted.
I'll tell you what, that break won't do him any harm. Gave those a right lunge, Jim.
Ideally, Tony, you'd like to start this session out the way that he started the match out and get right back in to his winning ways that have somehow eluded him. Mind you, a lot can be said to the way Jason Twist responded. Like a champion.
Yellow balls in play.
30 seconds.
That's a great shot there from Gareth Potts. And now everything is easy. Just going to take out these 3 yellows at the top of the table. Just needs to gain position on the yellow at the bottom, and there's just really no way you can see him missing him from here.
Now, with him learning his trade, watching Lee Kendall and Stoke-on-Trent, would they be practice partners? Would that be a fair comment, too, where Lee would be imparting a lot of his experience?
Definitely right, Jim. They do put hours and hours in on the table together, especially leading up to this tournament.
He's going to be stretching a little bit here, being left-handed. Just wants that cue ball to come up the line to leave the yellow, the bottom left open. He also got to watch his waistcoat. Well, this isn't near as easy as it could have been.
He just got away with that one there. He didn't want to use the rest, did he? I mean, a lot of players would have had the rest out there just to, rather than stretch across the table. See, Gareth isn't particularly comfortable with it. That was a long way away from
Red
that
ball's
pocket.
in play.
I just sense that you're looking at a man under pressure, and the way that he struck this ball, even though there was no body movement, he's making his work very difficult. And
I'll tell you what, Jim, that the expression on his face has changed now. He's start of the match, he was looking very calm and collected, and now he's looking more like a worried man sat there. He stares at the carpet.
well, we've seen steadily where Jason Twist has grown in confidence, and rest assured, confidence breeds courage. And even though that was a miss, there's such a thing as a positive miss. I think that would fit into that category.
Good hit there from Gareth. Out of the snooker. I don't think Jason Twist was playing to leave him there, but nice little snick on the yellow. Wasn't going to give Jason Twist the 2 visits that he'd have liked. But really, you've got to fancy the world champion to be able to knock these in.
This is a lot like being at the practice table. You just toss the balls out from the pockets and they fell into the middle of the table. Very similar to what you see here. But this isn't the practice table.
Up off his cue very quick again, Jim.
Talked earlier about the fact that Jason is an ailing back. So you won't see him mess around too much. He can't hold that position for very long. 8 into the left center for a 6-3 commanding lead. And confirmation, Jason Twist looking full value to try and retain the crown here. A feat that is yet to be achieved by any defending champion. 6-3 in front of Gareth Potts. And Jason must be feeling a lot better about proceedings. As we said, he lost the first 3 frames to open this quarterfinal and responded like a true champion.
And doesn't he look a lot more positive now? Even broke a smile.
10th frame, Jason Twist to break, leading 6 frames to 3.
A place in the semifinals awaits our winner. Yellow into the side pocket.
Yellow ball spotted.
And choice of red or yellow right now for Jason. Really had a test of characters. We see the break off again in the last 16 match where, as you said, Tony, I think earlier in this quarterfinal, he could well have been taken out. An 8-7 win over the Welshman Keith Jones, but it was Jones who had the chance
30 seconds.
to put the reigning world champion out of this event.
That's right, Jim. I watched that match, and at 7-all, Keith Jones had 3 pockets covered, and Jason Twist was dead and buried, and Jones made a couple of bad mistakes towards the end. Jason Twist just hung in that frame, and he came out an eventual winner. And that's the reason we see him here. But when you're the world champion, I think you do put a bit of fear into your opponents. You know, if they were playing anybody else, they'd maybe lock up the frame. But I think, you know, I could put the world champion out here, and just makes cueing those balls a little bit more difficult. The pockets look a bit smaller.
It's an intimidating title, to be sure.
30 seconds.
Jason
Red
not
ball
having
in play.
pocketed that red. It was still an open table, and now it's reds on for Gareth Potts.
Again, Gareth's got one tough ball, which is the red on the right-hand side of the table. Awkward cue in here for Gareth Potts. And do you see that one there? It looked like it turned away slightly, but I believe it was missing when it left the cue ball.
The pockets aren't big enough to accept that ball. You can see a ways from the cushion. There's no way that ball was in. Even though he's had a clear passage through to this quarterfinal with comfortable wins over most notably Darren Appleton, the event's #7 seed. He was always going to be tested by the man at the table now, Jason Twist.
Well, he beat John Collum from Ireland in the last 16, and that was an 8-2 landslide, really. John Collum had a couple of chances early doors, but then Gareth Potts, he just destroyed him. He hardly made an error. I don't think he really missed a ball in that match. It's probably the best I've ever seen him cue. But it's now that counts, and the mountain is much, much bigger in the form of Jason Twist.
Beautifully controlled shot there from Jason, leaving the yellow to the same pocket. He just wants to try and leave that yellow into the right center. You can see the problem for him right now is the yellow nearest the left cushion. Does that pass the red, or is that red that deep in that corner pocket?
Well, I believe that goes in, Jim. Not easy,
30
but
seconds.
I think it will go. Well, I think he's tried to move that there. The way he's played it and the pace that he's hit the cue ball, he's tried to kick that one out, but he's got no choice now but to take it on to the bottom left-hand corner off the red.
Foul.
There was no room for error there, and that foul now affords Gareth Potts 2 visits, and you really can't see him failing to secure the frame here.
Well, that was a scruffy shot there from Jason Twist. And this really is plain sailing here for Gareth Potts, and this is just what Gareth needs. He's been out of sorts in the last few frames. He's had a couple of small chances, but he's not took them. But surely he's going to knock these in.
You won't get a better chance to stop the rot. He's lost the last 6 on the spin. Shots like that aren't going to help him. He's still got 2 visits, remember. But he's going to be using them both.
He played that shot very well. Kept his head. Now just the simple stuff for Gareth Potts. Needs to pull a frame back. Just when you thought it was completely slipping away from him. A ball into the left centre.
And he's pulled one back. 6-4 to Jason Twist, but it was a long wait for frame #4 for Gareth Potts. 10 are in the books here, and the reigning world champion with a 2-frame margin of comfort as we speak. But Jason knows that he had the first kick at the can in this one. One errant visit opened the door for the 19-year-old left-hander. The former world junior champion, all set to break off now in frame #11.
12th frame. Gareth Potts to break, trailing 6 frames to 4.
And put his shoulder into that one. And nothing finding its way to a pocket.
Open table.
How big is the break in this game, Tony?
Well, I believe it's the most important shot in the entire frame is the break shot. You need to pot the ball off the break. If you don't, you just hand in the table to your opponent. As you see, from Gareth's point of view, he's really smashed that pack this time. And there you see, he's not happy. I always compare the pull break to like a service at tennis. somebody wins your frame when you've broken, it's like, you know, you've broke serve.
Yellow ball's in play.
Jason got a little bit lucky there, Jim, as well.
Yes, to be sure. Now, would the break be a shot that all top players like yourself would put a lot of practice time in at? Try to develop something where they can control that cue ball and bring about the power that's needed?
Well, a lot of players have tinkered with break cues, and I even tried one myself for the first time this year. And okay, you get a good split with a tip, let's say about 11 mil, but you lose the control of the cue ball. I mean, you can smash the pack and you send a white off the table. You know, that's 2 visits. Goodbye. So a lot of players they've all tried these break cues, but they've all seemed to come back to their normal playing cue, the cue they trust.
Well, the break having eluded Gareth, it's down to Jason Twist right now to put pay to it. He can get through to this yellow.
I think you can just nick the paint off that one.
It's so important to keep your head still.
Well, it's looking like Gareth Potts hasn't stopped the rock for long. There's a tornado. Strides around the table, just looking to see where he wants to leave the cue ball for his last yellow.
Well, if he can knock this yellow bottom right in, he's electing top right instead. Keep the cue ball in the middle of the table, and that was played beautifully. Took a little more difficult path to the finish line.
That just shows he's feeling very positive now, Jason Twist. And look at that shot. Great control from Tornado. Brilliant pull.
The fight back stemmed in its tide. Gareth Potts wins a frame. Jason comes right back and stamps his authority on this quarterfinal. 7-4 in the race to 9. He wants just 2 more for that all-important berth in the semifinals. Still on course to defend the title. And the loneliest seat in town right now is the one occupied by Gareth Potts. 7-4 he trails. He doesn't want to let Jason get to the hill.
Jason Twist to break, leading 7
What's
frames
worse
to 4.
is frame 12 sees Jason Twist all set to break off, with a chance to do that very thing. Well, the break seems to be
Open
eluding
table.
both players. As important as it is, Tony, if it's not working, it turns out to be an ally for your opposition. But he's in the comfort zone. 3 clear. A lot of pressure on young shoulders right
play.
now.
I'm quite surprised at Gareth. I thought he might have took reds. I thought they were a lot more open. They're all pretty central. Got a little bit of a problem on the left-hand side with the table with the yellows. Now you see he's tried to get on those yellows there. And just where he's left the cue ball, still got to get down for that plant. And I don't know, if he should miss one of these yellows, the reds are going to be very open for Jason Twist, and you can't see him missing.
The problem certainly lies in the form of those 2 yellows, and if he can get on them sooner rather than later. Now, is he on that one nearest the bottom left corner? Tony hasn't had a look at it, but it almost looks like the cue ball may be able to get through to that yellow. Or I think he can keep that cue ball in the center of the table and leave the yellow nearest the bottom left corner on.
I think he might screw back and play the plant here, Jim. Yes, he is. Just got to be careful with the second yellow when you play the plant. Because obviously all his eggs are in one basket now. So he has to land on the second yellow.
It's always the danger playing these plants. Beautifully played. Well, anxious moment there. But he's okay.
Still got to get back on the 8-ball, Jim. He likes using that red ball, doesn't he?
They're both firing on all cylinders now. 7-5. The scoreline edging closer and closer. Jason Twist enjoying that 2-frame advantage. But Gareth Potts is not ready to go home yet. And you've got to be very impressed by this young 19-year-old. Frame 13, will it be a lucky or an unlucky one for Gareth?
Red and yellow balls potted.
Yellows look the order of the day, Jim. Great break off there from Gareth Potts.
Yellow balls in
Worth
play.
another look. And Tony, as they come to stop, either reds or yellows, very nicely placed, but certainly yellows look to be slight favorite.
Only real awkward yellow for Gareth Potts is the yellow on the right-hand cushion, just below the right-hand
30
centre.
seconds.
There you see Gareth Potts is trying to get on it as early as possible. I hate to keep talking about it, but this is the sensible thing to do. Get rid of your problem balls. If he misses this, he covers the pocket. He's still in control of the game.
And he didn't miss it.
Absolutely sweet as a nut.
He's answered the bell. It's very noticeable that his play is sped up. Oh, what a beautiful stroke he put on this yellow. And if you can save that yellow top left to last, it'll certainly afford him easier position to the black.
And that's what he wants to do. He's got to get on the yellow at the bottom of the table now. And he's failed. Now this is going to make the finish a lot more difficult. He's going to have to go upstairs and play the yellow at the top left-hand corner. Let's have a look at his shot again. He tried to just come below and kiss the bottom red. He kissed the one above it, and the red he wanted to kiss until he snooked himself behind.
I think he just wants to slow roll this in and leave the cue ball in the middle of the table. At least it gives him a chance. And now he's got to avoid contacting that red and come right back up the center of the table. Just miss the red and he'll be clear. Well,
I'll tell you what, that was...
Still not bad though, Tony.
That was a handy nudge, that was, Jim.
If he would have contacted that red on the other side, he wouldn't have left himself that open black that he just pocketed to pull back to 7-6. Young Gareth Potts is giving the world champion everything and then some.
This really is a classic quarter-final. Gareth Potts trailing by 1 frame, and Alec looking on. The momentum has changed again.
Gareth seems to have found the pace of the table, and it's getting looks like he's getting comfortable out there.
Yeah.
He's really settled it right down now, I think.
A couple of frames ago, I thought that Jason Twist was just going to run away with the match. Who's your money on now?
Well, it's easy to say Jason, but Gareth is certainly pulling out the straps now.
Well, he's leading by 1 frame, Jason Twist, but the pressure is on. It's back to you, Jim.
Well, Jason responded to the pressure like a champion earlier in this match, and he's being called on to do so again. Yellow down, off the break.
Yellow ball's potted.
Open table. And Tony, as we survey the situation here, it almost looks like yellows have to be the ball of choice here for Jason, but there's no real easy starter.
Red ball's nominated.
Well, Jason's taking the red balls. I think the reason he took the reds is because of the red at the bottom left-hand corner. It's covering the pocket and
Red ball's in play.
just gives a little bit of security should he miss one. Now we're going to see how Jason Twist's feeling. He's just had 2 frames fired at him from Gareth Potts. It's time for Jason to dig deep once again. Arm very close to the yellow at the bottom of the table there, might I add.
Yes, and the way he was bridging there, I was wincing for him, knowing that his back is ailing him. That couldn't have been a comfortable position, even though that's probably the last thing on his mind right now.
He's going to be playing the plant now into the bottom left-hand corner.
The problem red comes in the form of the one nearest the left center.
Well, I'd say that'll be his last ball, Jim.
He's having a good look at it.
That ball will give him perfect position on the black. It's not great. You want to be playing this red just above the 8 ball into the right-hand centre. You want to be dead straight. Made it easy position, but you can see he's got an angle on it. And now he's caught in 2 minds. He's now going to think about taking this one that we thought he was going to leave till last next, but
actually he was on all 3 there.
Well, he gambled there, you know, Jim. He gambled on getting good position, and this is not as easy as it should have been.
That was into a very acute angle, and now the natural angle is going to be taking the cue ball away from the 8. So he's going to leave himself a thinner clip to play this 8 bottom left as we look.
What's more, he's going to leave a lot more distance than he would have liked.
Would still expect to get this. And he did. He answers the bell. Jason Twist secures frame 14, 8-6 in front, and wants one more for a place in the semifinals.
15th frame.
You know, I've
Gareth
seen
to break.
Jason Twist play
Tied
on
8
so
frames
many
to 6.
occasions. The one thing that I see is his eyes start to get bigger. You called him a predator earlier, Tony, and to me, he exudes that sort of look.
Yellow ball's nominated.
Very, very steely-eyed, Jason Twist. There's Gareth Potts. Just surveys the situation. We'll have a look at his break cue ball. Look how far that came up in the air. Could have been dangerous if it had been a bit closer to the rail and jumped on the floor.
You can see the problem area for Gareth comes in the shape of 2 colors on the right-hand side.
30
both
seconds.
yellow and red in trouble. So at some
Yellow ball's
stage,
in play.
he's going to have to develop that if he wants to win at this visit. And he also knows he can't afford any more mistakes. And here's his chance.
That's right, he's going to try and kick into this yellow on the right-hand cushion. Potting yellow into the top left-hand corner. Dig this one with a bit of right-hand side. You have to play it very, very firm. You see him putting a bit of right-hand side on the cue ball. And he's misjudged that completely.
Up off the cue very quickly there, too. That was
Red ball's in
noticeable,
play.
and that's always a sign of nerves. Watch his head come up off the cue. He knew he'd missed that one as soon as he struck it.
I think that last finish from Jason Twist hurt him, and he also knows now in the back of his mind, Gareth Potts, But one more mistake.
30
Maybe his
seconds.
last shot he plays in this Embassy World Championships.
Well, the same problem, though, confronts Jason. At some stage, that red has to be developed. He knows he's in control of this match, and he doesn't want to let it slip away. The finish line is in sight, and some people can hardly watch.
Jason Twist is just having a little look now. See if he could maybe pot this red at the bottom of the table and steer the cue ball into his problem ball. But I think Gareth realised initially where he'd left him and realised what he'd done.
Well, Tony, it would be a
30
brave
seconds.
shot if he took it on.
I think he'll have a go. Tough shot to play, though. Well, he's proved me wrong.
But he's tightening the screws.
Well, he knows that Gareth's under great pressure now and just wants to keep him under the whip.
There haven't been many occasions in this quarterfinal that we've seen tactics employed by either player.
I'll tell you what, Jason could actually just knock all these reds in, and why didn't he play the double? He hasn't missed one of them in the entire match. I think you will see him try to kick it out just the same, and he might even go now. Try and screw the cue ball into this red on the side cushion. And what a great shot there from Twist. The chance is there now for the tornado. Great shot there, kicking the red off the rail.
The test of cueing here.
What a fantastic shot from Jason Twist.
And that could well be the beginning of the end for Gareth Potts' run in this year's Embassy World Title event.
And that was the shot of the match for me, Jim. The way he controlled the pot, had to bounce the cue ball through the gap of the yellows to land on this awkward red. He's going to drag the cue ball back behind this yellow now for the red in the centre. And Gareth Potts can go and book his taxi. It's been a gallant fight from the young man from Stoke-on-Trent. And I'm sure you're going to see many more years of him in these championships, but just feel now that Jason Twist is not going to slip up when he's got such a great opportunity to make it through to the semi-finals.
Just got a little more angle than he ideally would like.
30 seconds.
But you can see everything in the open.
But he just wants to make sure he knows that the game has been pretty tight. And Jason will have in the back of his mind that you don't get many opportunities in these sort of situations, especially this easy, to get through to the Embassy semi-finals.
And nicely on to the last red, position to the black.
And that is absolutely perfect. Brilliant shot from Jason Twist.
The holder is still on course to defend. Jason Twist, the event's top seed, a 9-6 winner over Gareth Potts, and he is through to the semifinals.
Yes, the reigning world champion safely through to the last four. A very impressive performance, wasn't it?
In the end there, it was just going game every time he got to the table. He played very well at the end. Compared to the start of the match, was chalk and cheese.
It was impressive the way he's won the match playing his B game.
B game, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good B game, isn't it?
He's almost developed an arrogance over the last couple of years. When he's at the table, he looks completely in control. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, very comfortable out there, and looks like very hard to beat.
Do you think he's going to go ahead and create a piece of 8-ball history?
As in winning 2 or 3 in a row. Well, how many has he won now?
Well, you're going to have something to say about that.
I'm going to be trying.
All right, well, thanks for joining us, and good luck in your quarter-final match. A very impressive performance from Jason Twister. He's still on track to create a piece of 8-ball history and defend his title. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.